Singapore has ruled the skies of Asia for 12 straight years, commanding the world's most powerful airport. But just to the north, Vietnam is pouring $16 billion into a new weapon, a mega airport built to break Changi's grip on air travel. With flights between China, Japan, and Australia now within reach, and millions at stake, a single geographic trap could shatter everything Singapore has built. So why are airlines suddenly rethinking where they land? And what secret edge does Vietnam hold that money alone can't buy? The answer begins here. 12 years at the top, Changi Airport has become more than just a terminal. It is the crown jewel of global travel. Every hour, flights from 5 continents pass through its runways. For the world's biggest airlines, Changi is the beating heart of the kangaroo route, the critical bridge between Europe and Australia. No other airport controls such a vital corridor. Inside, the experience is flawless. Passengers step from a Paris-bound A380 into a world of marble floors, designer boutiques, and the legendary Jewel Waterfall. Everything runs to the second. Delays are rare. Lost bags are almost unheard of. Changi's reputation is built on precision, luxury, and a sense of invincibility. The numbers tell their own story. Skytrax has named Changi the world's best airport for 12 consecutive years. In 2024, over 68 million travelers moved through its gates, and nearly half of its revenue came not from flights, but from high-end shopping, fine dining, and entertainment. Airlines pay a premium to land here, around $10,000 for each wide-body jet. But in return, they get seamless connections and a clientele that expects nothing less than perfection. If you like understanding how global aviation decisions are made, not just where airports are built, consider subscribing. This channel explains the systems shaping air travel before they become obvious. Changi is not just an airport. It is a fortress. It dominates the skies of Southeast Asia, setting the standard every rival tries and fails to match. But even the strongest fortress can have a weak point. And somewhere to the north, a new threat is quietly taking shape. 40 kilometers east of Ho Chi Minh City, a new force is rising from red earth and concrete. Long Thanh International Airport isn't just another terminal. It's a calculated strike at the heart of Asia's air routes. For the planners behind this project, geography is the weapon. Every flight from the great cities of East Asia, Beijing, Tokyo, Seoul, must cross Vietnamese airspace before reaching Singapore. That simple fact changes everything. A plane landing at Long Thanh instead of Changi shaves up to an hour off its journey. For airlines, that means less fuel burned, lower crew costs, and a faster turnaround. On the busiest routes, every minute counts. Saving 30 to 60 minutes isn't just a convenience, it's millions of dollars reclaimed from the sky. Long Than's blueprint is drawn with ambition. 4 runways, each built to handle the world's largest jets. A terminal designed for 100 million passengers a year, more than the population of Vietnam itself. The goal is clear: become the new crossroads for Asia-Pacific travel, pulling the flow of people and money northward. Singapore's luxury is legendary, but no amount of marble or waterfalls can move a city on the map. Airlines will always chase the shortest, cheapest path. That is the trap. Once Long Thanh opens its gates, the invisible lines of global air traffic will begin to bend, and for the first time in decades, Changi's dominance will face a threat it cannot outspend or outdesign: distance. Landing fees at Changi hit $10,000 for a wide body. In Vietnam, the number is half that, sometimes even less. For airlines, this is not just a discount, it is a lifeline. Every dollar saved on the ground means another seat sold in the air. The planners behind AirAsia and Vietjet are watching the numbers closely. They see a future where the price of a ticket matters more than a waterfall or a luxury brand. When landing at Long Thanh costs $5,000, and the fuel bill drops by another $5,000. Thanks to a shorter route, the math becomes impossible to ignore. In the last 5 years, low-cost carriers have exploded across Southeast Asia. 60% of the region's air traffic growth now comes from these budget giants. They do not care about prestige, they care about scale. For them, every unnecessary mile is a waste. Every extra dollar in fees is a reason to look elsewhere. A zero-sum analyst in Riyadh describes the game as a knife fight. For every passenger Vietnam wins, Singapore loses one. There is no middle ground. Even Riyadh Air's strategist admits, an airport is only as powerful as the airlines it attracts. Without the budget carriers, new runways are just empty concrete. But with the right price, airlines will defect, no matter how loyal they once seemed. The price war is already underway. Airlines are drawing up new flight plans. The question now is simple. Who will blink first? Singapore's fortress is under siege, not by missiles or politics, but by the raw power of a cheaper ticket. Blueprints for Terminal 5 cover an area so vast it nearly doubles Changi's capacity overnight. The numbers are staggering. 140 million passengers a year, more than the populations of Thailand and Malaysia combined. This is not just about more gates or bigger lounges. The engineers behind Terminal 5 are building a fortress of technology. Every step, from check-in to boarding, is designed to be invisible and instant. Facial recognition replaces passports. Robots haul luggage through underground tunnels. Artificial intelligence predicts bottlenecks and reroutes travelers before lines can even form. Inside the war room, Changi's planners know the price of hesitation. They have watched rivals in Dubai and Istanbul claw away transfer traffic with new terminals and aggressive airline deals. Now, with Vietnam and Bangkok both expanding, there is no room for error. Bangkok's Suvarnabhumi Airport is racing to reach 60 million passengers with its own expansion, another front in the war for Asia's skies. Singapore's answer is speed and precision. Terminal 5's construction runs around the clock, with modular sections slotted into place like a living machine. The goal is a seamless fortress that no budget rival can match. For every dollar Vietnam saves on fees, Singapore invests in certainty. No lost bags, no chaos. Just a promise: you land, you connect, you leave, on time, every time. Behind the glass, a small army of engineers and data scientists watches every movement, searching for the next edge. In this contest, technology is the shield. For now, Changi's defenders refuse to blink. 4,800 families watched bulldozers roll past their homes, refusing to move for a promise written in government ink. In Long Phuoc, protests shut the project down for 2 months. Villagers chained themselves to trees, blocking the machines until compensation doubled. The scars from those days run deep. Even now, whispers of bribes and rigged contracts swirl through Dong Nai. 10 officials have faced investigation, their careers buried under accusations of kickbacks and missing funds. But the real wound is time. The expressway meant to connect Long Thanh to Ho Chi Minh City is only 70% complete, stalled by budget shortfalls and endless committee fights. A local skeptic shakes his head at the chaos, asking how a city of travelers can rise on roads that barely exist. The deadline looms. The cracks in the foundation are spreading, and faith is running out. December 15th, 2025. The clock starts ticking with a single test flight. On the ground, thousands of workers scramble to finish the last pieces. Runway lights flicker to life. Baggage belts spin for the first time. 4 days later, the first official plane touches down. For Vietnam's project leaders, this is the moment of truth. Outside the fence, analysts are watching every move, calculating what happens next. The deadline is brutal. By June 2026, Long Thanh must be ready for full commercial traffic. If even one piece fails, if the roads clog, if the systems crash, the dream collapses. Oxford economics models predict Long Thanh could pull 10 to 15% of Changi's passengers in the first years. But nothing is certain. The world is watching. Every delay, every glitch, every empty gate will be counted. In 6 months, Vietnam will either steal the crown or lose $16 billion on a gamble. Right now, every airline and investor is watching Southeast Asia's skies. With $16 billion at stake and the world's busiest routes in play, what happens next will reshape travel for a generation. In this war, geography is power, and the clock is still ticking. What is your bet?